and Key's Real Rankings here on Keyshawn J. Max on ESPN Radio are brought to you by Dell. For your small business needs, call a Dell Technologies advisor today at 877-ASK-DELL. What you got for us today, Key?
Well, there's 8 teams. There's not 5, there's not 10, there's not 12, there's not 32. There's 8 teams, and one of them got a little bit of a punishment because they were on a bye, but that's okay. The teams in front of them are just better than them at this point in time. Let's start and hit it, Yates.
Number 8.
Number 8, the Tennessee Titans. They took care of business against the Carolina Lonely Panthers. I mean, obviously the Packers. I said the Panthers took care of business. It took them to the woodshed. When you look at the situation with Tennessee, they got a recipe, right? They're going to run the football with Derrick Henry. They're going to make sure that Ryan Tannehill does not turn the football over like he did in the playoff game against Cincinnati. They sit at number 8.
Number 7.
Number 7, the Baltimore Ravens. They're 7-3. Okay, Cincinnati's right there on their tail, but they're clawing and scrapping to win these football games. And I know it wasn't pretty. It wasn't a game. It wasn't a blowout. It just was a game that they needed to win against the Carolina Panthers. They took care of business.
Number 6.
Number 6. The Buffalo Bills, right? They fell from the top of the heap down to number 6 because the teams in front of them right now are playing better football. They took care of business against Cleveland. I know it was a snowstorm that got in the way up in Buffalo, so they had to go to Detroit and play, and they beat the Cleveland Browns. Okay, they didn't run away with it. They just had a nice little solid game. They sit at 6, and they're 7-3.
Number 5.
Number 5, the Miami Dolphins. They didn't play at all. This is the team that got some rest, much-needed rest. They're 7-3. They're ahead in their division, but the teams in front of them are slightly better based on their performance this past week. Out of sight, out of mind as far as I'm concerned. Miami sits at 5. Dolphin fans should be excited.
Number 4.
We saw this team last night beat up on the Cardinals without Kyler Murray in the lineup. The San Francisco 49ers. Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, Kittle, Jimmy Garoppolo on the offensive side of the ball, Bosa on the defense, young emerging defensive back in Diamador Lenore. This team is poised to make a strong run at the Super Bowl. They're getting healthier, and they got a quarterback that certainly can play the way he played. They're going to go to the Super Bowl.
Number 3.
Number 3, the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles needed to come back. Jalen Hurts on a draw at the end of the game, scores, beats the Indianapolis Colts, and my good friend and our good friend Jeff Saturday, which we're going to give Saturday the victory even though it was a loss because he coached his tail off to try to go 2-0. Philly sitting at 9-1. They're now going to be marching in, trying to get another victory to go to 10.
Number 2.
The Dallas Cowboys went into Minnesota. They're number 2 in my ranking. Went into Minnesota and unleashed on a team that stole a win up in Buffalo and, quite frankly, had the second best record in the National Football League. And you said to yourself, okay, this Minnesota Viking team is pretty damn good. But they were not good against the Dallas Cowboys. Dak Prescott did what he was supposed to do. The running game was a running game. Pollard out of the backfield. The defense stepped up. Michael Parsons and company sacked, I believe, Kirk Cousins 6 times. Now we're going to number 1.
Number 1.
And this should be a very easy peasy at number 1. The Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City Chiefs go on the road. Don't worry about nothing. We're playing against a division rival in the Los Angeles Chargers. We're going to be down with a bucket some change left in the fourth quarter. Oh, by the way, we got Patrick Mahomes at quarterback. So what are we going to do? We're going to put it in his hands. We're going to go right down the field. We're going to score, and we're going to go home with a nice ride. And then when we get off the plane, we can go celebrate as a team. Kansas City sitting at 8-2, number 1 overall in my real rankings. As you can see, 1 Kansas City, 2 Dallas, 3 Philadelphia, 4 San Francisco, 5 Miami, 6 Buffalo, 7 Baltimore, 8 Tennessee. And there's some teams that could potentially be on there, but these are my top 8 teams in the National Football League after Week 11.
I just can't stand by the fact that the out of sight, out of mind is the most ridiculous justification for why the Dolphins are 5th that I've ever heard in my entire life. So I get that the Cowboys blitz the Vikings, but they just lost to the Packers the week before, and they got ran against, right? So there are questions that we had about the Dallas Cowboys. And granted, big-time win. But to sit up here and say that, well, the Dolphins haven't played for a week, so I'm going to hold that against them, and that's why they're going to be ranked lower than the Cowboys, who just came off a loss the week before. It's just out. I can't. It just goes into the reason why Tyreek Hill chimes into the show.
I don't even. I don't even know who Tyreek Hill is other than a good receiver, man. I have no conversation. I don't DM him.
I just feel it.
I don't DM him. I don't talk to him on sidebars. I don't worry about him. My real rankings sit the way they are. These are my top 8 teams. Yes, you are punished when you're on a bye and other teams play better than you. This has been a
But they can't play better than you when you don't play.
This has been a consistent theme for 11 weeks. If you're at the top and you have a bye and somebody has played better than you prior to my last time seeing you, then yeah, I'm probably going to drop you.
Yeah,
That's been the case.
This is not necessarily, but probably.
This is not a Miami Dolphins thing, Jay Will. It really isn't. I could care less. I'm going to the Super Bowl regardless.
Yeah, I know you always say it, but it feels like
guys,
it feels like it's a Miami Dolphins thing.
Are the San Francisco 49ers better than the Dolphins? Yes. Are the Philadelphia Eagles better than the Dolphins? Yes. Kansas City? Yes. The Dallas Cowboys certainly showed, based on the way Dak Prescott played, that they are the number 2 team in the NFL right now today.
I don't
it could change tomorrow.
Wait a minute. We can go back and forth and argue this all day, but let's bring someone else into the argument.
Who is the someone else?
NFL front office insider Mike Tannenbaum sitting right to my right. Good morning, Mike T.
Good morning. Keep going, fellas. This is really fun to listen to.
Yes, but we can sit here and bicker all day. Why don't you bicker a little bit? What do you think?
Yeah, a couple things stand out to me. Two things. Number one, I think Tennessee is too low. Like last year, they were the 1 seed, and this year they go up and they dismantle Green Bay. As Jay Will reminded us, the week before, Green Bay takes it to Dallas. So to me, Tennessee is a team that no one's going to want to play. They're well coached. They have a good defense despite a lot of injuries on the defensive side, most notably losing Harold Landry for the year. And Derrick Henry, to me, is the way to slow down these powerhouse offenses in the AFC. So, for example, if they're playing Kansas City, nobody has a defense to stop Patrick Mahomes, but Derrick Henry can stop Patrick Mahomes.
Oh. Yeah, you're right about that, Mike. But let me ask you a question, Pops. Who has Tennessee played that's a signature win this year? Like who? Green Bay? I mean, like Green Bay is treading water right now. Even though they beat the Dallas Cowboys, they did everything in their power to win that football game, and Dallas did everything in their power to lose it. So Tennessee could be up there. They may be next week, but as of right now, they're a team. When I look at who they've beaten, and I look at that, I'm going, I mean, like, where's their signature victory at?
Well, I would just say if we use the Keyshawn Johnson recency evaluation, they go up to Green Bay on a short week, on a Thursday night, undermanned with a bunch of injuries.
Green Bay coming off their best win of the season.
Yeah. So it's fair. But look, I think they're going to win their division, which means they get a home playoff game.
Yes.
And then after that, I just think they're the one team everyone's going to be like, oh, we got to go play those guys.
You're 100% right. They got what's portable that a lot of teams don't have. They got a running game and a guy that can counter a high-octane offense because it can slow it down. But they're 8, okay? They'll move up to 4 as they continue to keep winning. They may move even higher than that. But right now, this week in Week 11, they're sitting at 8.
So Mike T is very high on the Titans. You talked about it yesterday on a tremendous afternoon show, 2 p.m. Eastern. This just in, handsome host. Well, guess what? You like the Titans largely because of that big old running back, right? Oh, he can punish the defense and control Patrick Mahomes better than any defense can. Guess who we have coming up